Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, a tragic traffic collision in Portsmouth claims the life of a 10-month-old baby. CARICOM Council on Finance and Planning meets to advance discussions on financial and monetary integration of member states. And the Council on Aging says government social protection programs are positively impacting senior citizens' lives. The details coming up.
M&J Covering is the producer of designed galvanized and galvalume in Dominica. They design to your specifications, color and length, 4 styles of galvanized and galvalume pre-painted roofing sheets as requested, and supply all your galvalume accessories. M&J Covering helps you control spending and reduce waste. At M&J Covering, they are also equipped to build your roof to precise standards anywhere on island. So come to M&J Covering at 1 Mile in Portsmouth or call 445-5001 275-5003 today.
And first stop in the news, some tragic news. A 10-month-old baby has succumbed to her injuries following a tragic accident in Portsmouth on Tuesday. Police PRO Simon Edwards explained that 10-month-old Shay Dorival was in the vehicle with 3 other individuals when the driver lost control and collided with a truck traveling in the opposite direction.
The Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force is investigating a fatal vehicular collision which occurred at 10:30 a.m. on Tuesday, 4th September 2018 on the Michael Douglas Boulevard Highway in Portsmouth. It involved car registration number PN320 driven by Davian Francis, female 38 years of Font-Saint-Jean, and truck registration number TE320 driven by Alison Thomas, male adult of Lago, Portsmouth. Francis was accompanied by Patricia Mingo, female 70 years, Michael Stewart, male 13 years, and 10-month-old Shay Dorival, all of Font-Saint-Jean. According to the information, the car was traveling north to Portsmouth on the road while the truck was heading in the opposite direction. The driver lost control of the car, it veered off the lane and collided with the truck. The car was extensively damaged and the 4 occupants received varying degrees of injuries. The individuals were transported to the Regional Armour Hospital, attended to, and 3 were transferred to the Accident and Emergency Department at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Patricia Mingo will be transported later today to the Princess Margaret Hospital. Shay Dorival succumbed to her injuries at the Princess Margaret Hospital and was pronounced dead by a medical doctor.
And 3 families in Tarish Pit are now homeless following a fire in that community on Monday afternoon.
The fire, which broke out sometime after 5 in the afternoon, spread among the closely built houses to engulf 3 in flames before it was successfully brought under control by the Fire and Ambulance Department. Channel 5 News visited the scene and met up with one of the homeowners who initially did not believe her house was on fire.
My god sister, Sabrina, that came and get me and bring me there. We couldn't even come because they had blocked the road, so I had to walk up. But all the time she telling me my house, but she can't get me. She tell me, girl, Vanessa just call me and tell me your house burn and whatever. And they don't see them cheering and Vanessa don't see them cheering and things. I tell her, girl, you lie. They say, Sabrina, you lying, girl, don't lie for me and thing. And they're laughing. I never believed it was true. And when I came, I see it and yeah.
Yanel's house was a wooden structure. She lived there with her father, boyfriend, and 2 daughters aged 3 and 5.
When I come, the house had flat already. It was flat. And then I asked for my children, they tell me my children okay, my little girl go inside the burning house and take out her sister, and somebody grabbed them and run with them. My little girl said it was in my father's room. My father's room, it starts. So it have to be electrical, you don't have matches in my father's room, my father doesn't smoke, so.
Cerilia Alexis is another of the owners whose dwelling went up in flames. She was in the house at the time and says the experience was traumatizing.
It was really scary. Really scary. I had to pass at the back door, and the back door was jammed through like the steel. So I was doing some work, so we had to put some steel so it couldn't open wide. So my 7-year-old, I had to slip him at the back of the whole one with my left hand and hold the door with my left hand and hold him with the right hand, and I pass him because he's very skinny. So as I tell you, and then I had to squeeze my way out after. And the guys at the neighbor now, they start to scream, who there, who there, who there, who there? So I just tell them, I start to scream also. And they go over the fence, I had to give them to my little boy, give my little boy to them. Then they had to pull me up.
Cerelia's 17-year-old son was also home when the fire occurred. Luckily, he escaped by climbing through a window. Alexis informed the Channel 5 News that she has been promised assistance by government following Monday afternoon's fire.
Yes, we did. They're going to call us. They're going to call us, yes. I will get it. By the grace of Almighty Father, that is the more important thing, we are alive. That's the most important thing. Yeah.
The other house among the 3 destroyed buildings belonged to Cerelia's brother, Anthony Alexis.
Meantime, Member of Parliament for the Rosen North constituency, Danny Luge, says yesterday's incident was unfortunate.
However, he did commend the people of Tarish Pit for coming to the assistance of those whose homes were affected.
It's very traumatic on the heels of Hurricane Maria for the 3 families, the Timothy family and others, to have suffered this devastating loss in the community of Tarish Pit. I certainly hope that help can come sooner rather than later. Noteworthy is the fact that the young men of the area, they pulled together quickly, and I think they did a fantastic job in attempting to deal with the fire. And also when the fire officers came, I myself didn't see, well, I saw a little bit of the action, but the young fire officers seem to have performed very well, and this we should commend them for.
The MP pointed out that due to the dense population in that community, there should be measures in place to address such incidents in the future.
About 20 feet away from the building which were consumed by fire, there was a fire hydrant. So it is very, very sad that this fire hydrant, I don't know whatever reason, was removed. This is a highly populated area with a lot of people living close together. So I want to recommend, I want to beseech the authorities to replace the fire hydrant.
Luge says that in his limited capacity, he was able to lend some assistance to the families affected by yesterday's fire.
Luckily, I had a half barrel of clothing which I brought to the family, so I've done that. So in my limited capacity, we know the politics, the Dominican politics. I've already, given that assistance which I had at my home at the time. So yes, so I'm hoping that, I could appeal to other church organizations and other organizations to give whatever assistance to the families.
In other news now, the 6th special meeting of CARICOM's Council for Finance and Planning, COFAP, got underway in Barbados on Tuesday. CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Owen LaRocque told the opening ceremony the Council of Finance and Planning was responsible for economic policy coordination, a key factor in ensuring the success of the CARICOM single market and economy.
The enabling economic environment required to stimulate growth and foster competitiveness in the community must complement the single market arrangements we have put in place in order to encourage economic activity and realize the beneficial impact of the CSME. In pursuing that course, we have identified those elements of a single economy in the short to medium term that would enhance the effective use and operation of the single market. In particular, we have been developing policies and legal instruments for the movement of capital and investment resources across our region. The deliberations of this Council today touch on issues that affect the lives of the citizens of CARICOM. The agenda addresses the important role of deposit insurance in enhancing the financial safety net, preserving financial stability mechanisms, and the development of a regional integrated capital market. It also includes establishing a credit reporting system and regulating the operations of credit bureaus to protect the rights of borrowers. That will facilitate access to credit for supplementing income and undertaking long-term investments such as education and mortgages, as well as providing working capital for businesses.
Ambassador LaRocque says at a meeting last July, CARICOM heads of government gave a clear mandate to this council to finalize some of these instruments by February 2019 and the others by next July.
These include an investment policy, an investment code, an incentives regime, an integrated capital market beginning with model securities legislation. I trust that the discussions today would advance this process and ensure that we fulfill the mandate of the heads of government.
He says as a result of the impact of the economic crisis of the past decade on the region and in pursuit of the CSME goal of a sustainable economic growth for the community, a commission on the economy was established.
The Commission, within its limitations, has provided thoughtful and insightful recommendations. There is no doubt such a commission could have a continuing role to play in confronting the challenging economic situation facing our member states. However, to adequately perform its functions, in light of the rapidly changing developments impacting our growth prospects, there is need to restructure the Commission as a body of independent experts with a time-bound mandate. The ideas of the COFAP in this regard will be instrumental in helping the Commission to deliver on such a mandate.
On Wednesday, CARICOM heads meet for the 9th meeting of the Prime Ministerial Subcommittee on the CARICOM Single Market and Economy. In related news, Prime Minister of Barbados, Mayor Motley, says CARICOM member states can no longer seek to work separately to attract investments in a way that undermines each other's stability. Addressing the 6th special meeting of CARICOM's Council for Finance and Planning, COFAP, in Bridgetown on Tuesday, Motley said there was need of a common community investment policy and code.
There is no doubt that we need to have our financial services architecture regulated by treaty arrangements, and indeed, when we look at the investment policy code, that was first settled as far back, I think, as 2008 or 2009. So that we're talking about almost a decade in the wilderness in the absence of being able to settle some of these critical initiatives, that this meeting can bring us closer to settling and signing off on them, that we can enhance the ability of our citizens to be able to access credit by putting a framework in place that protects both the individual citizen as well as the financial institution is absolutely critical if we are going to give true expression to improving the lot of our citizens.
Motley believes it's also time to address issues that are fundamentally about the competitiveness of the CARICOM single market, but relate to how our economy functions.
If we are going to carry the single market to the next level, then these issues have to have some advances made with respect to them. And I referred to the question of the integrated capital markets of our region. All of us are having access problems with respect to capital. Too many of our citizens in the productive sectors, too many of our companies in the productive sectors are complaining about their inability to be able to access capital in ways that make sense and at costs that make sense. And to the extent, therefore, that we can allow for the surplus liquidity in markets to be able to flow to other markets, we will have added value to our general ability to move towards greater growth in the region. And therefore, this meeting is timely, and I look forward to the substantive decisions that we will make today, recognizing that tomorrow we meet as a Prime Ministerial Subcommittee on the CSME, and therefore some of these decisions are absolutely critical to advancing the work on the single market yet again.
You are watching Channel 5 News. We'll continue after the break.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fenced pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Thank you for staying with us. President of the Dominica Council on Aging, Gloria Shillingford, says government social interventions such as the Yes We Care program are making a critical contribution towards the well-being of senior citizens. The Dominica Council on Aging has designated September the month of the elderly under the theme Recognizing Senior Resilience.
I know because I come from not so long ago from a ministry, social services. So I can vouch because I visited as a minister then almost every home and institution where we had our seniors.
Shillingford says government's Yes We Care and other social protection programs are making a positive impact in the lives of Dominica's seniors, including the centenarians.
There were many of our seniors, many of our elderly, who for a while would not get a bath. They had no one to care for them. They had no one to visit them, sometimes could not get a meal. And the Yes We Care program throughout the years have helped this to happen, and also to be able to prolong the lives, I would say, of many of our seniors.
Shillingford says such programs go a long way towards alleviating a sense of loneliness and feelings of abandonment and hopelessness in senior citizens. And Tropical Storm Florence is located in the central tropical Atlantic, and Tropical Storm Gordon over in the northern Gulf of Mexico. These systems do not pose a direct threat to Dominica. A strong tropical wave currently located over the far eastern Atlantic is being monitored for development over the next several days. This system is expected to approach the Lesser Antilles by the middle of next week.
If you're HIV positive or have an STI, having unprotected sex with multiple partners puts them in grave danger. You will expose every partner and their present and future partners to HIV or another STI. Use a condom every time you have sex. You can live a productive life even if diagnosed with HIV. Remember, early detection is key to your survival. Be responsible, protect yourself and others. Help stop the spread of HIV and other STIs.
To end the news, a look again at the headlines. A tragic traffic collision in Portsmouth claims the life of a 10-month-old baby. CARICOM Council on Finance and Planning meets to advance discussions on financial and monetary integration of member states. And the Council on Aging says government's social protection programs are positively impacting senior citizens' lives. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.